All right, welcome back. My name is Hannah, and this is a space where we talk about all things creative. Welcome to Work To Dream Diaries. So I am on the mission of building my dreams outside of my 9 to 5. In my 9 to 5, I am a UX designer. So I talk a little bit about what that looks like as I check in during these weeks. So if you're interested in that type of trying to understand what it looks like to be a UX designer in 2025, you can come for that, but a lot of the content will be kind of going through what my week kind of looks like here. So I am in the process of trying to get my first piece of writing published and trying to start my own design business. So I'm sharing everything along the way. So if that interests you, give me a like, comment, subscribe, and that's kind of what I'm using to kind of understand if people are, interested in this, and I can kind of pivot and talk about different things if people, are looking for something different. But for this format, for the week, this is kind of what it looks like. So if there's stuff in there you're interested in, come join me. So today is Sunday, and I am actually in Michigan. So I live in Chicago, but I'm in Michigan for the last week now. So I'll be here this week. And other than that, just a very typical kind of week, but I'm excited to kind of get into the mundane and kind of solidify a little bit of my routine, even though I'm not, in my home. But yeah, I'm excited to share the vlog. And like I said, let me know down below if this is interesting to you. I'm going to use the likes, comments, and interactions to kind of drive, what I'm sharing, what I'm talking about. If there's anything of interest to you, please let me know down below. And with that, let's get into Work to Dream Diaries. All right, so welcome to Monday. I went for a run this morning and I did 5 miles, and it was really good. It was really easy. It was supposed to be an easy run. Went into, started work, and it is lunchtime. But yeah, I don't know. It's been was corporating hard today. There's a lot of just changes happening, I guess, like across the market, with, places downsizing, particularly in UX. We're seeing a shift as we see AI kind of come into play. Not that it's like taking jobs or anything, but like there's just an emphasis on being more efficient and utilizing the tools in front of us. But then also, I think there's just a big shift around, what does tech kind of look like in the future, and like just certain things that have been kind of vocalized in meetings. I'm trying to just be observant and trying to just listen in to maybe finding some patterns along the way. And kind of the sense that I'm getting around at least UX and, your traditional product teams is things are just being rethought about, what can actually get done. Are we actually doing things in a very user-focused, customer-focused lens? Because that's genuinely what's going to help us, improve these experiences, is if we are doubling down on these customer-centric kind of things and really just trying. I think there's a lot of stuff that, especially when you're in these like huge orgs, that you just get caught in these cycles of things and priorities changing, and this team is doing this and business is wanting something different, and I don't know. It's a lot, I guess, is the moral of the story. But yeah, I don't know. Trying to look at it in a different way and trying to just like take it for what it is, and learn as much as I can from the confusion, learn as much as I can from the lack of clarity, because even in times of unrest, even in times of change, there's stories and there's lessons to be learned. So, doing what I can, but definitely taking a break, trying to eat a little bit, and then we are And then I think I'm going to try and work a little bit on the business today. I started working on the website kind of mock-up and mapping out kind of how I want it to kind of flow. What different ways that I want to build like the sales, I guess, funnel and stuff like that into it. How am I going to, what tools do I want to incorporate? How do I want to actually send this information? Just trying to do a lot of that stuff so that way when I get to the actual build part of it, there's a skeleton to kind of build from, and if I change things or alter from there, that's okay. But I'm going to get to food. That's about it for today. And I will see you later. All right, so it is Monday after work, and like I said at lunch, corporate was corporating hard today, so just confusion and current state of the market we're in, and companies are kind of looking at, you know, the jobs that we're doing and really indexing heavier on the impact that we're making. So yeah, I guess I could talk about more of that in another video in the future. But yeah, so it is Monday. I was going to go to the gym and potentially do a strength session, but I think I just decided I'm going to work a little bit on getting my Wednesday video kind of up and done. Then I'll probably just work a little bit on the business because I am feeling pretty motivated in it. So I'm going to get to Premiere. So we'll talk to you soon. It is Tuesday, and I struggled a little bit to shut my brain off last night. It's hard when you struggle to kind of turn off your brain around work, and so I don't know if I have like a tactic that helps yet, but So I don't know where we left off because my audio died, but I was talking a little bit about work, but I think so it's Tuesday morning and haven't started work yet, but I was talking a little bit about work in corporate, and I think I was talking about there's two layers that when it comes to really large organizations and there's a lot of change and when there's a lot of shifting around, it can become very confusing with priorities, and you know, when you've got partners that are also shifting around and everyone's kind of in these different states. I think what I'm trying to kind of refocus for myself, because it's been something that kind of kept me up at night. It's been something I've been struggling with the last couple weeks. Well, I guess the last couple months, honestly, as things constantly shift around, is really being able to stop in moments of question, distress, or just uncertainty, and to first start with the layer of, okay, at the smallest level, at my team level, what is unclear for me, and if I can basically, if there's something in there that I maybe have not explored or I haven't asked, or if there's areas of uncertainty within that layer, then that's something that I can personally control, and I can kind of go out and seek that out, and that's an easy step to kind of potentially clearing things up. Once you've surpassed that, I think then it's like, okay, well, if I feel like I'm clear here and we're having these discussions, but there's still uncertainty, it's probably at another level. And so I think when you step up another level, it's okay, on a holistic wider base level of like where you're including multiple partners, then asking those same questions. And I think that's where, for me, I struggle in this large organization. When you are at an individual contributor level, like you're so honed in on these very specific things, but you're also expected to have a grasp and an understanding of all of these other things that are happening. And there probably wasn't 17 other groups that were, you know, questioning it or working on it in a different way or whatnot. So it's like in such a large org, I think it becomes even more convoluted around what are the expectations that need to be clarified for me to be able to clearly move forward. So that's kind of the space I'm in, is with a lot of change, there comes a lot more of that confusion. And I struggle a lot with that because so then that way I can anticipate, or I can have a better understanding of what that looks like. And so when you have partners who differ in how they function and communicate, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So enough with work. It is Tuesday morning, and I last night worked on my video for Wednesday, and I actually finally think I might have figured out my whole glitching issue. So I've been testing out different exporting settings, trying to figure out how to fix it. So I think I might have gotten it, but I'll again test it out again and see. But hopefully this, I just went through it and it doesn't look like it's glitching at all. So I think we might be good. But I'm happy about that. So I've got that set. And then today, and on Tuesdays, I usually go to my French class downtown Chicago. But because I'm not in Chicago this week, I'm missing that first class. And then I also would be missing a couple other ones, and I didn't want to pay for the class if I'd be missing, more than one class. So I decided, also, I'm not going to pay for it potentially. I'm being a little bit conservative with my money in this current state of the economy. So I decided to skip this one, but it doesn't mean I'm stopping. On, so then that way I can join in potentially in the session after this one. So yeah, I have a couple different language resources that I absolutely love, and I could do a whole video just on what tools and whatnot I've found that have been fantastic resources that kind of align with more how we learn foreign languages. So I've used Preply before, and I absolutely love the tool. And so that's probably the one that I'm going to go through this afternoon after work. I also really love Lingoda, but my problem with that is it's a little bit more expensive. And if I'm trying to be conservative on that, I think I might step back from that one this time, and I'll come back to it another time. But I used Preply before I went to Italy. I found an Italian tutor who was amazing, and then I also had a couple different tutors for Mandarin. I studied Mandarin in university and lived in Beijing for a bit. So yeah, I was doing that to kind of get more acclimated to it again. And I don't know, it's just a love of mine that I don't want to let go of. So with this shift, I'm going to try and find a tutor that aligns with what I need. So that's going to be this afternoon. I'm going to try and find that. And then I also need to finish up my the thumbnail for this video that goes live tomorrow for Writing Wednesday. And I didn't go running this morning, so I might potentially also go to the run group here. They do a track workout on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So I think I might do that just to kind of get that done. It's easier to do speed workout with other people who are also doing speed workout. So yeah, it is, I've got another half an hour before work starts. So I'm gonna try and get dressed and ready, prepared, and get started with work. So with that, I will see you this afternoon. All right, so it is, no, it is not Wednesday. And I was gonna potentially go on a run, but it is windy and cold and I'm being a baby. So I think just as like a recap of some of the stuff I was talking about with work is it was really funny. We had a meeting, we had a like group meeting with those that are in my specific core like UX team. So my manager, ooh, it just got real bright. So those that are in my core like team for the product that we work on within UX, and my manager kind of talked to us about dealing with ambiguity, how to like know when you're spiraling or know when to like back off or like lean in and all that stuff. So it was very timely, mainly because I think it's just the timing of everything. So I work in retail. First quarter is still live and ready and happening. So we're preparing for Q2, which starts in a couple weeks. So because of that, there's still a lot of uncertainty around what we're doing, a lot of shifts to make sure that we're able to produce and deliver stuff by the end of the year and all that stuff. So it's just like kind of a known kind of like flow and cadence within it. And I've learned a lot since being in such a large organization, but then also within retail, and how that has a very, consistent pattern as well. So, but yeah, I think a tactic that she talked about, but I had already like initiated because yesterday I just felt so unclear, was that I woke up this morning and I just started scheduling out clarity calls. So I had a touch base with our product management manager, and then I also had a one-on-one, which was already scheduled, but I wanted to clarify and run through that with my senior product manager, just to make sure that we were aligned. And then I had that meeting with him afterwards, and yeah, it just basically like, and this is something that I've always done, but it's hard to know what that step is in the moment. So I usually just kind of try and give myself grace during the day while it's happening. And then usually by that time it's like, okay, by the next day, like I kind of know that you need to take action, honestly, to make sure. And like, I mean, like even just like what I ended up doing was just kind of going in with my assumptions and just being like, help bring clarity if this is incorrect. But I'm trying to come into this getting clarity around what it is that like this is what we're working towards and driving towards in the future. So yeah, I don't know, ended on a good note, but yeah, just a long day. And at lunch, what I ended up doing was I got my video up and scheduled yesterday for Wednesday. And then during lunch, I created my thumbnail and made sure everything is good to go for tomorrow. And then I also decided to create my LinkedIn page for my new business. So that is up now, and I'm going to just try and figure out, I can start building out certain aspects. And then that way, when I do feel like I'm ready to launch it, I can potentially post about it. I don't know how I feel yet about posting on LinkedIn, and all that stuff, just for work. Not that I'm doing everything outside of work. So it's like, I already know that internally I'm not creating any conflicts. I know that I'm not creating any conflicts, but, yeah, I don't know. I just like to be, I like to just be extra cognizant of what I'm doing digitally. And, yeah, so we'll see if I decide to kind of post on it or figure out a plan with it, but that was an idea. So I feel really good about that. And then this afternoon, I think I'm just gonna make some food because I'm hungry, and I'm actually gonna work on the business because I'm feeling really motivated towards it. And then just clean up a little bit, get prepared for tomorrow morning, because I want to go run in the morning. So yeah, that's about it. All right, so it is Wednesday, and I'm doing this a little bit out of order from what we had planned for, our weekly things for April. But I've decided, so I met with a friend, and I talked through some business stuff, and I got a little bit motivated in an area that I thought I was gonna hold off on, but I decided I want to go forward with some of the case study stuff. So I have a restaurant that I'm going to be checking out today. I'm leaving in about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm leaving about 20 minutes. But I did a digital kind of review of their space, of, what they offer, how they are presenting themselves, what that content looks like, their positioning, all of that type of stuff. And, so I did that. When I do the actual video of it, I'll talk through more of that stuff, but that's kind of the first step, is I'm doing a digital kind of review of it. After that, I'm going to be going to the restaurant, and then I'm going to try and take notes on the experience, on the food, on everything as much as I can. So then that way I have something to I'm going to start creating these assets of what does good look like. So then that way, my website can also not only just be a place where you can come and purchase those identities, which I know is not going to be, a daily, weekly, monthly occurrence for people. But I want to have resources, and I also want to be a source of resource for people. So, so that's kind of the thought. I'm going to start this out. This will be a test run too with it. So if it is that I want to have maybe I'll create a document that I'll fill out afterwards, and then that way I can do this more often and a little bit more of I'll have a backlog of stuff. But yeah, super excited. So that's what I'm focusing on this afternoon. So business stuff. I know it's Wednesday, and that's usually my writing Wednesday, but I think I might move that to tomorrow, just based off of what just based off of some of the work stuff. My headspace is in a little weird spot, so I'll probably do that tomorrow, but I'll still post that on Wednesday next week. And yeah, so I'm gonna get changed, let these dogs out, and I will talk to you when I'm back from the restaurant. All right, so welcome back. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday evening. I think it's about 8:12. And I just went to that restaurant we were testing out, and it was really good. I think some of the critiques, and it's not really critiques, so basically, I'm just going to kind of give an overview. So with the business the design business, it is going to be hospitality, service-based kind of branding identity. But I also want to provide experience, and all of that type of stuff. So what I'm ending up doing is I'm giving myself the task of going to a new place I've never been to that maybe has some good reviews from people, or by positive word of mouth, and then just kind of experiencing it and kind of coming back from it, taking photos while I'm there, and then coming back from it and trying to figure out I guess, basically distill down what makes a great experience. So I want to be able to provide a cheat sheet and suggestions and all that stuff for my customers and clients along the way. So, but also it's really fun. So it's fun to kind of give myself this task to kind of go out and actually look at things in a very specific way. So yeah, it was a really great time. I went with my brother, sister-in-law, and my nephew. So we had a really good evening. It was kind of sunny out, a little chilly, but yeah, it was a nice time. So now I'm back and I'm trying to write all that stuff up in the Miro board. So I'll probably go over that in the next Build a Design Business with Me episode. So I'll go more into depth into that. And I think what I want to do is I want to build out just like a template. So then that way when I go into places, I can kind of like work it through. And then that way I can kind of fill out stuff while I'm there on my phone. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just gonna get cleaned up a little bit. I'm so excited that we're at the end of the week. And I'm really tired, so we'll see. I don't think I'm gonna do much more else this evening. So, you wanna come up here? So, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna hang out a little bit and we'll see you tomorrow. You wanna say bye? Dropped. All right. Thank you so much for being here and joining me on this week. It's been so incredible to kind of like, I think what I have been reflecting on, and as I kind of go through this whole process of vlogging, because this is new for me, is that it's really interesting to go through and film. And as you kind of go through, you're talking about how you're feeling and like what struggles you have and whatnot. And then when you go back and kind of rewatch the footage, it's really interesting because it's definitely different than like reading your journal. I'm like, it's such a visceral kind of experience to be able to watch yourself experience life. And I'm really excited, honestly, to be able to be starting this format and documenting. It's been a really big change and a positive change for me to be able to kind of go through this, because I am noticing that like the things that feel big in the moment. Like I'm not disregarding that, but then, a couple days pass and I even forget that they happened in a way. Like, not that they happened, but they're just these minute moments. And yet I felt so big and so strongly when it was happening that it's really interesting to kind of see how small those like work moments are, and how small and, non-existent really that those, obstacles kind of feel like when you or even 24 hours, 48 hours away from them. So it's really giving me really great perspective, as I have struggled a lot with, especially with a 9-to-5 corporate job, with the like emotions and the changes and a lot of the things that kind of go along with it when you are in such a big organization. And so yeah, it's making me realize that like, and I knew this before, but like, it's making me really realize that like, nothing matters, which sounds so insane, but like, it's true. Like none of this, I'm not going to remember this 5 years from now. Like if I can't, like, if I keep asking myself, like, is this thing that's happening that I feel that I have this anxiety towards, that I feel my heart racing towards, is this really going to be an issue 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? And if it's a no, then like, well, let's just let it go. Like, I'm just going to try and separate myself from it. So yeah, I don't know. Just a really positive, take on, now that I've kind of started doing this. So I kind of wish I had done this a long time ago, but that's okay. Yeah, this is a long end, but all I'm saying is this has been really enjoyable for me, and it's a process that like I'm enjoying for myself. And if you are interested, if any of this is, you know, helpful for you, or if you feel similarly, let me know down below, because I'm really interested if like this is just me. But with that, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna sign off here until the next Work to Dream Diaries. But I really appreciate you being here. And the next time you see me for one of these, we'll be back in Chicago. So maybe we'll get some warm days and I can go downtown a little bit more. So I will see you in the next one, and I really hope that you are spending some time, whether it be 5, 10, 15 minutes more, working on your dreams, because you're worth it and they are worth to come to life. So I will see you in the next one.